Welcome to my garden, and today we're down here picking peppers. Now we're picking peppers not to eat today, not to cook up. We're actually picking peppers to freeze. Reason being is we're getting close to the end of the season and I have more peppers on here than I know I'm going to be able to eat fresh. So what I'm going to do is start picking some peppers here. I'm going to take them to the house. I'm going to show you how I flash freeze them and how I'm able to keep them good for quite a long period of time, normally until next season. And so what we're going to do is pick some peppers. We're going to take them up to the kitchen. We're going to clean them. We're going to freeze them, and we're going to enjoy them. Not today, but we'll enjoy them over the next couple of months. So let's get going. So here are the peppers that I picked that we're going to be taking up to freeze. I got plenty more, as I said, still growing. That'll be more than enough for the rest of the growing season to eat fresh, but wanted to pick a few to start freezing, so that's what we're going to do. So let's head up to the kitchen and I'll show you how I do it. So we're back up in the kitchen now with the peppers that we just picked in the garden, and before we can freeze them we need to wash them. Now my peppers are straight from my garden, they're organic, I never use any pesticides, I never use anything unnatural on them, but still I'm careful. I want to make sure that they are as clean as possible before I freeze them. Now different people do it different ways. Some people just run their peppers under water and that's good enough for them, and that's fine. But what I do, I really have a three-step process. What I do first is just rinse them off under the spigot and just with fresh water, and then I will actually put them in a white vinegar bath, and that white vinegar bath is a process that will help get rid of anything that the water won't get rid of. So what I normally do is just fill a bowl up with cold water, and I'll put about a third cup of white vinegar in there. And so what I do is first I rinse my peppers, and after I rinse my peppers I'll put them in the white vinegar bath just to get anything that I may have missed, and then I'll pull them back out, rinse off that white vinegar, put them on a towel and let them dry. So that's what we're going to do now. And then after they've soaked just for a few minutes, I'll take them back over to the sink and then rinse them off. So now that my peppers are washed, I can go ahead and cut them and prepare them for freezing. So I just get my cutting board out. And I usually use a cookie sheet and some parchment paper. A lot of times what I'll do is put it in the freezer ahead of time to try to get it nice and cool. So it's just a cookie sheet. I put some parchment paper over top, and then I'll start preparing my peppers. Some people will freeze their peppers whole. I don't do that. What I do is I like to cut the tops and the bottoms off. And then what I'll do is I have my trash can right there. And then what I'll do is I'll just pull out the seeds and the white part. And what I do is slice my peppers. Some people will cube them. I don't like to cube them myself just because it kind of limits what I can do with them, but I'll just go ahead and slice them. Now if I do see any spots on them that look bad, then I'll take note of that and not use them, but I'll lay them on the parchment paper skin down. And that's all there is to it. So once you have finished cutting the pepper and filled one of the trays, I just put the tray in the freezer and I have another tray ready to go. So I checked the peppers in the freezer and they are frozen now. So let's pull them out and we'll get them ready for permanent freezer storage. Now there's two ways you can store them in the freezer. One of them is just using Ziploc bags. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you do use Ziploc bags, just try to get as much air out as possible. The amount of air that is left in the bag will really determine how long your peppers will stay. The other thing you can do is use what I use as a vacuum sealer. And with a vacuum sealer, what you do is you get the bag and you fill it up. And I'll show you here. I just grab a bunch. About half of them. And with the vacuum sealer, I just put it right in here. And that's going to suck the air out. And once the air is sucked out, then it'll seal. I love the convenience of this, and I do like that it does make my peppers and tomatoes and other things that I freeze last much longer. So once it seals, it'll just stop. And as you can see how tight that is, wonderful. So that's all there is to it, to freezing peppers. Just make sure they're fresh. If you have a garden, there's nothing fresher than that. Try to freeze them the same day that you pick them, and flash freeze them like this. And then after you flash freeze them, either put them in a Ziploc bag, or if you have a vacuum system like this, you can go ahead and do this. So if you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to the channel. I plan to have more videos on the South Mountain here, on gardening, on cooking, on things to do with the South Mountain, photography and other things. So I appreciate you visiting with me today. I look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.